So let me paint you a picture. So there you are, maybe 12, 13, severely unimpressive as someone in middle school. Don't know what you're doing. You ain't got nothing going for you. No one's really talking to you. You got a couple of friends, but no girls want to speak with you. uh that life is bad. It's kind of mid. It's kind of bad. And then you do a sport. You just pick a sport, any sport you have in mind. First sport that comes to mind, football. There you go. You start doing that, you start making more friends. You become more self-confident. You become more physically active. You become a different version of you. Wow, look at you now. You actually look a bit more muscular. You're a bit young, but you still look a lot better. You're talking to more people, making some couple more friends. Maybe girls actually do want to speak to you because you're getting in that age where you do want girls to speak to you. And life is going well. And, drugs don't interest you. Doing bad stuff doesn't really interest you. You want to focus on your sport because you want to get good at it. You want to get real good at it. And, everything goes well because you did a sport. And that is exactly what happened to me. So I was about 12 or 13 at this point. I had just started middle school, and I was on a drive home one time, and my dad asked me, "Hey, you want to do Taekwondo?" Taekwondo, really? Are we doing this for real? It's like, yeah, I'll take you tomorrow because my birthday had just come up too. They were like, you know what? Let's take your three siblings, and let's go to class. So I remember going to Taekwondo, instantly fell in love with it. Now, I should preface, honestly, before I continue. Taekwondo, wrong way to say it. Taekwondo, correct way to say it. If I say the first one, that's my beat. Just saying, some of us are like that. My bad. So Taekwondo started, instantly hooked. Instantly hooked on Taekwondo. Holy shit. Discipline, sports, camaraderie, challenge, growth, whatever you could think of, it had. And I needed. Because I was in that same boat I mentioned earlier. I didn't have too many people to talk to. I was very socially awkward, very, very not confident at all. And I wasn't physically active. So my physique was about as mid as you can get. But I started doing Taekwondo, and yeah, dude, that it saved my life, honestly, because I was from day one, was so motivated to continue training and working hard on it. I was so excited, so pumped every single day. When my class time hit, I was ready to learn. I was hungry. Now, what was weird is I was the oldest kid in the class because I was with a bunch of people who were like 7, 8, 9. I was like 13. That's besides the point. It was so exciting to finally learn something that I care about. Because when I was younger, I would love watching martial arts movies with my dad. Loved martial arts movies. Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, all that good stuff. Watched all of it all the time. And now I'm finally getting to do that, which was awesome. So when I was watching, those same movies or watching Dragon Ball, because that is like the only anime I still somewhat watch, I was like, wait, I can do that. Oh, that's a move I could try. Maybe I could do that. So I was getting inspired by the things I watched to try them. So time goes on, I'm going up in the ranks, and eventually I believe I hit gold. I believe I hit gold belt. And briefly, I met someone who was actually my age, who was a bit higher ranking than me. And for the first time, I made a friend who was my age doing this sport, which is another thing that saves me. Now I just didn't have friends that were at school. I had a friend now who trained, who wanted to do this sport, to grind this sport, which was awesome. So for the brief time that him and I were in the same class, because his next testing was very soon, so he was going to leave the class and I was going to stay in it for another 2 belts, were fun. Because him and I were the only people that could go up against each other in sparring, in exercises. Like, we were the only two. It was so fun. So time passes, still training, still progressing. School life is improving because I'm improving as a person. And then I believe freshman year of high school comes around, and I now am doing a second sport, cross country. And if you don't know what it is, you run a lot for a really long time. So you do, like, your practices are like 30-minute runs, 40-minute runs, 50-minute runs, and your races are like 2-3 miles long. Very rough stuff, very mentally heavy. So I was doing that, but I didn't just drop Taekwondo. No, I went even harder because now I had to get good at two sports. I had to get good at two. That was fun doing both at the same time. I did, however, and what was really, really challenging for me, I got a bit of a wrist sprain and my wrist was on like the verge of breaking. And I had a choice between going to see a therapist, a physical therapist, and kind of figure out what was wrong, or I go do my black belt testing, which was happening the same time the pain started, like really bad. So I shut up, I put my uniform on, I put my belt on, got to my test, and I did my entire first degree black belt test with one hand pretty much. They had us do handstands. I had to do that shit on my knuckles because on my knuckles it didn't hurt as bad. Doing it palm this way, right here, shooting pain, couldn't move. This, much more manageable. So everything was on the knuckles, everything was one-handed, but I aced it. I got my first degree. And that is when I would say my perspective shifted. Because at this point, I realized something. I am pretty damn good at Taekwondo now. I'm first degree black belt. Now, granted, I am the lowest black belt level, but I am a black belt. So I outrank 95% of the school. But for cross country, I'm not great. I'm not that good. I'm JV, and I'm probably going to be JV for the foreseeable future. Why would I continue doing it? So I continued training for cross country and Taekwondo, and then eventually just dropped cross country in sophomore year because, well, if I'm just going to stay JV, I'm not focused on it. Why would I continue? So I dropped it and focused on Taekwondo, which then led to the next point. I then got offered a job there. So that was my first job, teaching Taekwondo as an instructor. And holy hell, teachers, if you're watching this, yeah, I get it. It's hard, but trying to teach kids how to not kill each other with techniques that you can kill with when they're like 4, my God, is it insanely hard, especially when you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, those first couple of years were really rough on teaching, but I eventually got good. About COVID time I got good. But that's also where I met, my business partner. He also did Taekwondo, but funny enough, he left as I started. So he got his first degree, about to get a second, and then he left. And then I came like the week after, which is crazy coincidence that happened that way. We met, we talked, we trained. Then he started teaching with me. So now he was my, what was it? It's not underling. I just like using the word underling because it's funny. He was my underling. I had to teach him everything. And yeah, then COVID happened. And I think that is when everything kind of shifted because most of the masters left that were there. They either got sick or moved, didn't want to do it anymore. A lot of the students didn't want to come in anymore. And me and him were like extremely hungry to work because we didn't want to be at home. We wanted to do Taekwondo and that's it. Just Taekwondo, just train, practice, and all that stuff. We basically ran the place. The master was very in and out. He wasn't really there. We got an intern. And the intern really didn't do much because he couldn't really speak English. And my friend still wasn't a great instructor. He could run a class, he could teach the class, but the kids would be very uninterested. So I became, 4 months, 5 months, I became the head instructor. And I taught all the classes, I did all the online classes. So I really honed in my teaching ability. So when COVID ended and I left that place because I was very unhappy with the direction that we're going with after the run on a new master, joined a new place, honed my craft even more. I improved teaching so much to where I went from teaching the older kids because I couldn't really handle the younger ones to like the younger kids, the 4, 5, 6-year-olds. I had them in line, paying attention, giving me their best effort every single time I taught their class. I had to teach both of them, the after school and the one after the normal classes. I had to teach both, but I could do it and I could do it very well. So I was very proud of myself. Looking back on it now, talking about it, I'm very proud of what I accomplished. A lot of these kids don't see their parents very often. A lot of these kids are troublemakers in school, but I molded them to be my strong little group of 4 to 6-year-olds that could do anything. Genuinely, some of these kids were incredible. I showed them more advanced techniques, and they were able to somewhat replicate it pretty consistently. So I'm very impressed. All that time I'm getting paid, I'm improving, and then it got to a point where the amount of pay, the amount of work just wasn't making sense, and I decided that I would take my chances with business and Taekwondo. Overall, what I can say and what you can take from this, from me just kind of telling you my little life story about Taekwondo. Without Taekwondo, there's a lot that doesn't happen, and I'm forever grateful. If you're wondering where I'm at with it right now, I'm currently a 3rd degree, so I'm officially an instructor. So if I walk into a place like a dojon, like you must call me Instructor Jonathan, because that is what I earned. Am I training for 4th right now? Not particularly. I'm still training. I've trained intensely on that sport for the past 10 years. I would like a bit of a break because my body was on the verge of breaking from teaching. That's where I'm at now. And I can definitely wholeheartedly say, you should, if you're not doing a sport already, you should do a sport. Honestly, just there's so much good that came out of it for me. And it wasn't even a sport like football or soccer or like all that main stuff. No, this was Taekwondo. This was a fighting one. Honestly, you should consider doing a sport. It does so much positive things for you, and you have such another place to grow. There's another place for you to grow as a person. You genuinely cannot say enough good things about doing sports, doing Taekwondo especially. It is honestly just so worth doing, and I'm not even fronting with that. You should do a sport. And if you do a physical sport like Taekwondo or rugby or football or something that demands your full attention, absolutely do it. And you might be the best at football and you just don't do it. You could be. Try. Be more physically active, dude. It's so worth it. Genuinely so worth it. So your action step is just think about sports. Go be more physically active. You don't even have to do it in like the school sense. Just go out. Start kicking a soccer ball. Go out. Start playing some football with some buddies. Just do something, fun. You meet new people. You could talk to new people, learn about new things. Fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough. Definitely go try sport. See how it is. I think you'd like it. With that, take care.